If a stranger in a coffee shop asked you, "When has God shown up in your life?" you might find the question a little odd. But if you paused, chances are you'd have a story to tell. At St. Mark's, we believe God is at work everywhere, and everyone has a God encounter story. Inspired by StoryCorps, this Lent we're introducing GodCorps, an opportunity to record a short interview and share an experience of God at work in your life. We'd love to hear your story.
So, Pastor Amy here with Father Jonathan.
Hello.
And we talk a lot, but this is fun to be able to share a story on the GodCorps podcast.
I feel like we share so many stories in our lives here.
This is true, but this is not one that I think you're going to talk about something today maybe that you haven't shared yet with St. Markers.
Not widely.
I would love to hear the story of a turning point in your life and how God was involved.
Okay. Well, we pre-planned this a little bit, so I know where I'm going to go. But I want to talk about one of our adopted daughters, Lisa, who was a part of our family since she was in the 8th grade with my daughter, Eliana. They were in the 8th grade together. Something like that. 7th, 8th grade, something like 6th, 7th, 8th. Lisa was this, Lisa Lee is her last name, and Lisa's parents were Buddhists and worked very hard at like an apartment complex that they owned. They were not very involved in Lisa's life. So when Lisa had like things where parents needed to show up, Lisa's parents didn't show up. And so Marissa and I did, and I functioned as her dad in lots of ways at lots of things. When she was homecoming queen, I got to walk her onto the field. It was very sweet. I was really proud. Lisa was a great dancer and exceptionally pretty girl. And even the fact that I'm saying was sort of belays where this story goes. Lisa was also really, really smart and such a fun girl to be with. She wanted to be baptized. She was a Christian, but she had not been baptized and wanted to be, and asked me if I would baptize her. I told her I wouldn't until her parents could give permission. Her parents would not give permission because they told her that she was a Buddhist, and she said, "I'm not. I'm a Christian." That was a point of contention in her family. They wanted her to pray at the family shrine. She would not. Wow. So the day, not the day, but it was pretty close, that she turned 18, I baptized her. It was really close. It was really sweet. It was a beautiful moment. She had been serving in the church. She had been an acolyte. She did all kinds of stuff. And in our family, our nickname for her was Sweet Lisa. And it's kind of funny to give an adjective as a description of somebody, but that's what she was known as to us and pretty much everybody in the whole Ocala community. And she had danced at the community theater. She was really big into dance. I think there was a season that she thought she was going to go into dance, but didn't. Anyway, she went off to University of Florida and was going to be a PA, hard worker on her way into being a PA. And I think she was in her senior year, and we get a phone call from, she was traveling with some other friends, and we got this insane phone call. There's a lot to it. I'll just abbreviate it, but more or less she had died. She had a bruise on her thigh because she was also a yoga instructor, and the doctor had told her to roll that bruise out, and when she did, it broke up into tiny clots that went into her lungs, and she suffocated to death. It was terrible. That day was bad. It was December 14th, I think, is the exact date. Maybe it's the 11th. It was somewhere in that vicinity. So I say exact. I don't really remember the exact date, but I know it was right before Christmas. And so we had to have the funeral. And her parents, of course, wanted me to do the funeral. We knew that there were going to be a lot of people there. We didn't know how many people. Grace Church held about 285 people. And we ended up having 440 people at that funeral. Wow. Yeah, so it was packed. Wow. So, this turning point question, the question that, what's a turning point in my life, was how do I speak to this event, to these people? Her entire sorority came. So I knew that there were going to be, and when you do a funeral for a young person, I have done a couple, unfortunately, of these. There's a lot of young people there, and they want answers. And it makes sense. I do too. And the answer they want is why? Why did this happen? Where's God? And so in my homily, I decided to directly address that question with an answer that maybe was dissatisfying for some. And that is, I don't know why this happened. I do know why it did not happen. And this was a big deal to me. I do not think God takes people, anybody, even the infirm or the old. He doesn't take them. I think God receives all of us. And that's a very big, significant understanding of how I see death and God. Because if God takes people, that makes him capricious, that makes him greedy.
Yeah.
That's just not a God I can worship. So I've had that discussion with lots of people, and that's very important to me. So this funeral came, and so I wanted to make sure that I spoke to this idea that God did not take her. Unfortunately, right before I spoke, someone gave a eulogy about how God needed a dancer in heaven.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I was not kind because I did not let that stand. I wasn't mean to that lady, but it was her dance teacher. She meant well, but I just couldn't let that stand.
No.
Not because I just don't believe it.
Right.
With all my heart, I don't believe it. And so I said how God doesn't take us, but he receives us. But then there was this other question of, okay, what do we do now? She's gone. We're brokenhearted. People were numb. I mean, I think the funeral was 7 days. I think the funeral was, it was 9 years ago now. This happened. It was in 2017. I want to say it was like the 21st of December. It was right before Christmas. Wow. That Christmas Eve service, I really don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking that Lisa wasn't there. So, on the funeral day, when I came to this question of like, hey, what do we do now? I was really just thinking about me. What do I do now? And there is a desire inside of me. Well, I kind of have one or two responses. I want to either like wrap everybody I love in bubble wrap so nothing bad can ever happen to them, which good luck with that. Or I want to turtle up, get in my shell, and maybe I love less. If I love less, you can't be hurt as much, which is true. I think that is a fact. If you love less, then you are hurt less. The problem with that is not what Jesus did. He loved more, which definitionally means that he was hurt more. And that's hard. So the day of the funeral, when it came to this question, I decided to tell the 440 people there that they should love recklessly. That though they may want to turtle up, they might want to protect who they have, they shouldn't. It won't work. They should instead go the other way and love wildly, knowing that they're going to get hurt and they're going to lose and that it will go badly. That's how you should love, because that's how Jesus loved us. And because it's the best of us as Christians. It's the best people we can be. So I told him that, and I believed it. I still believe it. In fact, it has affected, it's a turning point for me, because it affects how I kind of see everything. I think I might have believed that before then, but I had never put it in those words. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I put it in those words, and I was like, yes, this is what I think. And I told the people that day. And it had an interesting effect, one that I expected. Her sorority, remember those little jelly bracelets? You can write something on them. Do? Yeah, those were some of them. But I mean, people put all kinds of things on them. remember that you're second, or there's a ton of them out there. Her sorority decided to make them, and they made them say "Love recklessly," which I thought was very sweet, and they wore them, and I think they sent me some, which was kind.
Wow.
And then they a month later, they had a memorial service up at the university, and they asked me to come and speak again, so I did, and I gave this message about loving recklessly, maybe a little more passionately at that point, because I was very sure I thought this. And then, unbeknownst to me, that UF every year has this like film competition where they have to you can submit a film to the university, and the sorority made one, and they called it Love Recklessly, and then they won the film competition, which was nuts. And then they sent me the film as well. I think it's still on YouTube. I don't know. It's got a lot of Lisa. It's hard to watch. It's great to watch because she's got a beautiful smile. But that was a turning point for me, and I have decided that from that point to this, that I'm going to love recklessly, which means you get hurt a lot, means things don't go the way you think they're going to go, but it also means that you're alive, and I don't live afraid. Well, I'm afraid, but I don't live out in that fear. I'm still afraid, but I don't live with it. I don't live in it. So loving recklessly, as Jesus has loved me and us, has changed me.
That's an incredibly powerful story. And I think everyone who listens to it will resonate with, that's your presence, and that's what you've done. And that's what I think we all want to press into. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that story.
Thanks for asking me. It's, well, I can't wait to see her again. I don't think about her every day, but I think about her a lot. And I miss her a ton. So thanks. Thank you for listening to this episode of St. Mark's Episcopal Church, GodCore. If you would like to record one of these episodes and tell your story about how you've experienced God, please use the link in the notes to schedule your time. We look forward to hearing your story, and we hope that you continue to tune in to hear ours. Thank you, and God bless you.